If we were to ask which deity grants the swiftest blessings and can instantly activate an invisibility shield for you the moment you encounter toxic people or messy situations, it must be the one we are discussing today, Marici. Hello everyone, I am Yuan. A few days ago, a fellow practitioner left a comment in the section saying they hoped I could talk about Marici. In fact, this deity is extremely popular in both the Han and Tibetan Buddhist traditions. Many practitioners have been reciting her heart mantra for a very long time. Just how extraordinary is Marici? She is so extraordinary that many people may not even have heard her name. Yet high-ranking Tibetan masters revere her as the fastest blessing female deity. Han Buddhist scriptures list her as a core protector among the 24 devas, and even Taoism honors her as Doumu Yuanjun. It can be said that she spans 3 religions, and her supernatural powers are one of a kind. Let me first throw out a question. Have you ever been afraid of backstabbers, villains, making trouble? Afraid of encountering danger when traveling far from home, afraid of people tripping you up in the workplace, or even felt a sense of dread walking alone at night? We've lived most of our lives. Who hasn't encountered some frustrating nonsense? Who wouldn't want a hidden shield so that those toxic people and messy situations simply cannot see you and cannot harm you? The Marici we are chatting about today, also called the Zerchenma, the Lady of Light, or Jiguang Tianmu, the Mother of Accumulating Light, in Tibet is not the kind of deity who is high and mighty, thousands of miles away from us ordinary folks. She is a practical guardian of daily life. In this degenerate age of the 5 turbidities, she is a protector we can truly rely on. Actually, she isn't a stranger. She is one of the 21 terras. In the following video, I will take you through a deep understanding across 3 major sections. First, how does Tibetan Buddhism revere her? Why is she called the fastest blessing female deity? Second, how is she recognized in Han Buddhism? What is her actual relationship with the Taoist Doumu Yuanjun? Third, and most crucially, I will share the authoritative permissions from core scriptures, including the heart mantra and visualization methods that us ordinary people can use directly. This was personally authorized by H.H. Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche, so you can chant and learn with total peace of mind, especially regarding the third part about the details of the invisibility protection practice. I suggest you must listen until the very end. The content is very rare and extremely beneficial.
第二部分，藏传佛教视角。
Let's start with Tibetan Buddhism, which is the most central and prioritized stronghold for Marici. In Tibet, Marici's status is top tier. She is the fastest among all female deities to grant blessings, without exception. The omniscient Mipham Rinpoche once said, among female deities, Terra and Marici, the Zerchenma, grant blessings most swiftly. The Mahavajra Meru Shikarakuta Garadharni, great wrathful Tantra, goes even further to state, among all Mother Buddhas, the blessings of Marici Mother Buddha are the fastest. If we say green Terra is fast, then Marici is the fastest of the fast. When we hear of this level of blessing power, we immediately understand its weight. H.H. Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche also once gave a teaching. The world today is already blazing with the 5 turbidities. It is filled everywhere with disasters and unrest, which is very saddening. In such a harsh environment, if we wish to eliminate various adverse conditions, we must recite the Marici heart mantra more frequently and pray sincerely to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. This sentence points directly to Marici's core value. She is specifically specialized in dealing with the adverse conditions of the 5 turbidities. What are the 5 turbidities? To put it bluntly, it's the impetuousness of people's hearts, the frequent disasters, and the prevalence of backstabbers that we face now. At a time like this, Marici is the most response-ready deity who can help ordinary people solve actual, practical problems. In Tibetan Buddhism, Marici has two core identities that we must understand clearly. First, she is an emanation of Green Terra. Green Terra saves beings from the 8 great fears, but Marici, as her emanation, takes obstacle removal and body protection to the absolute limit. She doesn't just manage big disasters, she handles all adverse conditions, including workplace backstabbers, demonic obstacles, and even our own inner ignorance and afflictions. Second, she is a symbol of prajna, transcendental wisdom. Possessing light, Gazerchama, refers to the light of wisdom, which can illuminate the darkness at the bottom of our hearts, allowing us to remain calm, steady, and fearless in a chaotic world. When we practice her, we aren't just seeking external safety, but also cultivating internal wisdom. If you have seen the Tibetan iconography of Marici, you will absolutely never forget it. 3 faces and 8 arms, with a golden yellow body. The most special feature is that one of her faces is a boar's face, and she rides a golden chariot pulled by 7 wild boars. Many people feel puzzled the first time they see this. Why a boar's face? Actually, this boar's face is a symbol of ferocity and might in Tibetan Buddhism, representing unstoppable force. The tusks of this wrathful appearance are meant to subdue all demonic obstacles and diseased energy, literally plowing away everything that harms people. Meanwhile, the other 2 faces, one being a peaceful bodhisattva face and the other a youthful maiden face, represent the union of strength and gentleness, which is the true state of a great bodhisattva. Look again at her mount, the golden chariot pulled by 7 golden boars. This symbolism is even more brilliant. The 7 boars correspond to the Big Dipper, Veda, representing the suppression of evil and supreme protection. The golden chariot represents freedom and smooth progress. Sitting on her golden chariot is equivalent to walking on a path where everything goes your way. No obstacle can stand in your path. The high-ranking Tibetan masters' high regard for Marici is etched into their bones. In the upper and lower tantric colleges of Lhasa, monk students practice this method every single morning. When H.H. Jigme Phuntsok was alive, he also frequently led his disciples in group practice, with each person reciting the heart mantra 100,000 times. Relying on this blessing power, they crossed over one disaster and obstacle after another. This is authority. This is lineage. Regarding the merits of Marici, the Tibetan scriptures write them very clearly. I've picked a few of the most practical ones to tell you. First, invisibility and freedom. The scripture says she constantly walks before the sun and moon. The sun and moon cannot see her, yet she can see them. What does this mean? It means she walks in front of the sun and moon, and even they cannot see her, but she sees everything. Applied to us, this is a hidden shield. You walk through a crowd, and backstabbers cannot see you. You go about your business, and competitors cannot see your shortfalls. You walk at night or travel far, and unclean things cannot see you. If no one can see you and no one can know you, naturally, no one can harm you. Second, eliminating disasters and avoiding misfortune. Whether it is the disaster of water or fire, or wild beasts and poisonous insects, or even the plagues and viruses we worry about most now, as long as you uphold Marici's name and mantra, they can all be neutralized, allowing you to turn bad luck into good. Third, eliminating backstabbers and stopping gossip. In the workplace and life, what annoys us most is backstabbers spreading rumors. Among Marici's ritual implements are a golden needle and a lasso. The golden needle can sew up the mouths of villains so they cannot speak ill of you. The lasso can bind their hands and feet so they cannot trip you up. Among Tibetan practitioners, there are countless cases of using this method to resolve slander and disputes. It is truly too practical. Fourth, increasing wisdom and success in career. Since she is called the Mother of Light, light is wisdom. Practicing her allows your mind to be clear and your judgment to be accurate. Whether doing business or living daily life, your blessings will grow, and everything will be auspicious. Khenpo Soderji also specifically taught, among all practices, the one with the fastest and most effective blessing is the mantra of the Mother of Light, the Zerchama. Everyone can recite it anytime and anywhere to eliminate all misfortunes in life and work. We must remember this sentence for a lifetime. After talking about the Tibetan tradition, let's look at Han Buddhism. Marici's status here is equally significant. She is one of the 24 devas in Han Buddhism and is known as Marici Bodhisattva or the Heavenly Lady of Light. In reality, she and the Tibetan Azerchama are the same deity with different names. In the Han Buddhist scripture, the Sutra of the Journey of Marici Bodhisattva spoken by the Buddha personally said to Shariputra, Marici possesses the method of great supernatural power and freedom. No one can see her, no one can catch her, no one can harm her, and no one can even owe you money without paying it back. Even your enemies and rivals cannot get the slightest advantage over you. This is exactly the same as the Tibetan concept of the fastest blessing. Even the great Master Yingguang, a generation master of the Han Buddhist Pure Land sect, held Marici in the highest regard. The master said that Marici is extremely fervent in saving beings from suffering. If one can sincerely recite her mantra every day, the more the better. One will turn misfortune into luck even when encountering war, fire, or water. With the endorsement of Master Yingguang, we know that this deity is absolutely a treasure protector within the Han tradition. Finally, we must talk about Doumu Yuanjun, whom many of you have heard of. Many people don't know that, in fact, Doumu Yuanjun and Marici are the same thing. Today, let's clarify this relationship once and for all. Taoism's Doumu Yuanjun is essentially Buddhism's Marici. They share the same source but have different names. It is a shared faith that transcends religion. Marici in Sanskrit means majestic light or sunlight. In Taoism, she is revered as the primordial mother of the Tao and is the mother of the 7 stars of the Big Dipper, governing the birth and destiny of all living beings. Taoist scriptures say she governs the light of the human body, which completely overlaps with the Buddhist meaning of possessing light. Light is wisdom. Light is protection. Why is this the case? It is because after Buddhism entered China, it integrated deeply with the local culture. The belief in Marici gradually merged with the Taoist belief in Doumu. Therefore, whether it is a Buddhist practitioner practicing her or a Taoist follower making offerings, the core is to seek peace and protection. Although the names used by the two traditions differ, their essence comes from the same lineage. In Han Buddhism, Marici's iconography is slightly different from the Tibetan version. Sometimes she appears as a heavenly lady with 1 face and 2 arms, and sometimes 3 faces and 6 arms, sitting on a boar, holding an Ashoka branch in her left hand, with a body like gold and light as bright as the sun. But no matter how the image changes, that boar symbolizing unstoppable force and the meaning of invisibility and protection have never changed. In fact, the belief in Marici was extremely prevalent during the Tang and Song dynasties. The imperial royalty and high monks all considered her the most response-ready protector. Even after the Ming and Qing dynasties, this belief continued to spread among the people. Even today, whenever they encounter danger, many veteran practitioners' first reaction is to recite Marici's name. This is the power of lineage.
第5部分，核心经典与大的开许。
I've talked so much, and I know what you all care about most. Can an ordinary person practice this? What is the heart mantra? Exactly how should I recite it? Today, I will explain everything to you thoroughly. Every method that follows comes from authoritative scriptures and the permission of great masters. you can record and learn them with total confidence. First, you can take note of these core scriptures. If you want to dive deeper in the future, check these texts directly. They are absolutely authoritative. The Han fundamental scripture, the Sutra of the Dharma of Marici Bodhisattva spoken by the Buddha. This is the most central one. The reminder from the Buddha to Shariputra that I just mentioned comes from this sutra. The Han ritual scripture, the Sutra of the Great Marici Bodhisattva spoken by the Buddha. This records in detail how to become invisible, how to subdue backstabbers, and how to increase wisdom. It is very practical. The Tibetan core text, the Mahavajra Marushikara Kuta Garadharni, the Great Wrathful Tantra. It directly defines Marici as having the fastest blessings among all Mother Buddhas. Next, I want to give you all a pill of reassurance. What people worry about most is often, I haven't received an empowerment. Wang, can an ordinary person like me practice this? Here, I can clearly tell you that according to the explicit permission of multiple Tibetan masters, ordinary people can directly practice the Marici heart mantra. You do not need complex empowerments. You can recite it anytime, anywhere. Authorized by H.H. Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche, he said that in the 5 Turbidities, if ordinary people want to eliminate adverse conditions, they must recite the Marici heart mantra more, and he even had the Academy's disciples recite 100,000 counts together. He also said, everyone can recite the Marici mantra at any time. There is no threshold and no restriction. Authorized by the omniscient Mipham Rinpoche, he said, among all practices, the one with the fastest and most effective blessing is the mantra of the Mother of Light. Everyone can recite it anytime. If you recite it anytime, you can eliminate various adverse conditions, unpleasantness in life, obstacles in work, including some confusion in your own body and mind. Authorized by Khenpo Sadarji, he explicitly stated, everyone can recite the Marici mantra at any time. No empowerment is needed. No complex rituals are needed. As long as you have faith, you will receive the blessing. Authorized by Lama Tsongkhapa, he said, the benefits of the short mantra of the Mother of Light are exactly the same as her long mantra. Therefore, it is sufficient for us to practice her short mantra. In other words, for us ordinary people, practicing the short mantra is enough. There's no need to practice the complex long mantra. It is convenient, practical, and efficient. These masters are the top-tier figures in Tibetan Buddhism. Their permission is authority. It is your guarantee.
第6部分心咒观想与发愿细节。Now
comes the highlight. What is the core heart mantra of Marici? How do you recite it? Are there any restrictions? I'll summarize it in one sentence. This is a method personally authorized by H.H. Jigme Phuntsok, Mipham Rinpoche, and other masters, which us ordinary people can recite at any time. And the more we recite, the smoother our lives will become. First, let me give you the most crucial short mantra. Remember it. Om Mari Zaye Soha.
翁马热扎耶梭哈
For us ordinary people, these 6 syllables are enough for a lifetime. Why do I dare to be so certain? Because it is entirely based on authoritative evidence. Lama Tsongkhapa clearly stated in the great exposition of the secret mantra, the benefits of the short mantra and the long mantra of the Mother of Light are exactly the same. How much trouble has this one sentence from the Master saved for us ordinary people? We can temporarily set aside the complex long mantras and tedious rituals. As long as this single short mantra is recited sincerely and persistently, the merits and benefits are identical. H.H. Jigme Phuntsok also said that everyone can recite it anytime without any threshold. You don't need to find a specific time, change into a practitioner's robe, or set up offerings. On your commute or while taking a walk, you can practice it anytime and anywhere. If you want the blessing to come faster and be more resonant, I will teach you a simple and effective visualization tip. While reciting the mantra, imagine in your heart, Marici, the Mother of Light, is emitting a sphere of golden yellow, warm light just like the sun. This sphere of golden light slowly shines down from the crown of your head, illuminating your face, your whole body, and all your internal organs. This light is like an invisible cleaning broom, sweeping away all the darkness, dust, and bad luck inside your body and heart, as well as that sickly energy that causes you worry, leaving everything clean and bright. You can think this while reciting Om Marici Soha. Om Marici Soha. After finishing the recitation, make a sincere aspiration in your heart. May the light of the Mother Buddha bless me, grant me invisibility and freedom, so that no one can harm me. May she remove obstacles and eliminate disasters, making everything go smoothly. May my wisdom grow and my heart's wishes be fulfilled. Finally, I also want to give a reminder to the practitioners who want to practice this method well. Just do your best. You can start by vowing to recite 21 times, or 108 times. Whatever you do, do not start by saying you will recite 100 million times every year. I once had a beautiful female practitioner friend who, in front of the guru, opened her mouth and said she would recite 100 million times. Luckily, I was there to remind her. Do you know what 100 million counts means? That is a quantity you might not complete even if you recite desperately for a whole lifetime. Making an untruthful vow in front of a holy one carries very serious consequences. So, let's keep our feet on the ground. Even if you only recite a little bit every day, you are still arranging a powerfully protective deity for your life. Why have I spent such a long time talking about Marici? Because in practicing the Dharma, faith is the mother of all merit. Once faith is established, the method becomes effective. I hope everyone cherishes this karmic connection. May you all be auspicious and healthy, with full blessings and wisdom. Dedication. By this merit, may I attain omniscience, and defeat the enemy of all wrongdoings. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, may I liberate all beings from the ocean of existence.